listening to the MalaniKai Show.
At some point in time, ma'am and sir, we, as grown adults, have got to take responsibility for our own actions. Because the truth of the matter is, you reap what you sow. I shall tie this in to the dirty, down low, perverted pastor and to the women who chose to spread their legs for a married pastor. When we come back, I'm MalaniKai. Thank you so much for listening.
You're listening to the MalaniKai Show.
And again, I don't take away from the fact that as most of my colleagues and friends and associates were talking to me about it, he's a dog, he's perverted, he's this, that, or the other. However, ma'am and sir, unless you are clinically mentally retarded or you are underage, and so far I've not seen any stories of women being underage who had sex with this pastor. The only woman that this pastor should have spread AIDS to is his wife, because she is the only one that morally should have been having sex with him. That's it. Grown women, before you spread your legs open, before you said, Pastor, put your baby maker in me without protection, I'm assuming I am celibate. I don't have sex. I don't worry about having AIDS or STDs. I've never been tested for an STD. I don't have to because I keep my legs closed. Women, before you walked into pastor's office, you knew that spreading your legs open, that was your decision. You decided that you were going to not only violate your own body, violate God's laws, you were going to violate this man's wife. You decided that. And the moment you spread your legs open and you allowed him to put his diseased baby maker up inside of you, you would have to be responsible for what happens next. Oh, sure, some of you are probably thinking, oh, these women were broken. They were seeking counseling. However, I'm sorry, ma'am and sir. Like I said, unless you were mentally retarded clinically or you were underage, you made the decision to have sex with somebody else's husband. And when you have sex with somebody else's husband, bad things happen. 404-355-8699. You're listening to the MalaniKai Show. Bad things happen when you have sex with somebody else's husband. And one of the bad things that happened in this case. You reaped what you sowed. Do I feel sorry for you? I do. Do I feel that some of you probably were broken and talking to maybe? Do I feel others of you just saw a preacher in a power position? Some of those women were just probably after him because he was a pastor and he looked like he was quite decent looking. But these days, you don't even have to be decent looking. All you have to do is be in a power position, whether it's in entertainment, whether it's in athletics, whether it's in the church. It does not matter. Looks don't even matter anymore. You take a man that looks like a baboon who just escaped a 4-alarm fire, and you put him in a suit and you put him behind a pulpit. He doesn't have to have any teeth. He doesn't know how and have to speak proper English. You put him behind a pulpit and you give him a title, and these hungry, nasty women who aren't woman enough to wait for their own husband will go after this man. I don't know any of the women in this case. None of them. But I'm telling you, if I had $1 million, all the women out of my $1 million, I would put $1 million down and I would find another penny. So it would be $1,000,001. I would bet that half of the women who slept with this particular pastor knew exactly what they were doing. and weren't coming to the pastor for sincere counseling. They had their eye on pastor while he was preaching because he had a position. And so I'm supposed to sit here and just say that the man is a dog? Men are dogs, always cheating on their wives? Well, what about the women who know that these men are married and continue to not only disrespect themselves, they disrespect this man's wives? When are you going to be woman enough to stand up and say, sure, I might be attracted to this married man. We might be vibing each other. Yeah, we may have crossed the line and flirted a little bit, but I'm going to respect myself enough, and I'm going to respect his wife enough. And if all else fails, I am going to respect God enough and the moral laws of nature to not spread my legs and be another notch on this man's belt. When, women? We're going to sit around for the rest of our lives talking about how men are dogs? Is that what we're going to do? Does that make us feel better when we have sex with somebody else's husband, somebody else's spouse, somebody else's mate, and then we go and we complain, he's such a dog, he slept with so many of us, but you spread your legs? When are you going to start looking at each other, black women, where the AIDS rate is rising faster than the unemployment rate in black America is plummeting? When are you going to respect your own selves and teach the young women to respect their bodies? When do you wake up and look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am fearfully, beautifully, wonderfully made, and I am too good to open my legs for some married man? It's getting tired. It's getting played out. The perverted men are perverted, men are dogs, they blah, blah, blah. How can they be dogs if you don't spread your legs, women? Who allows them to be dogs? Who allows them to have sex with multiple women? Who allows them? Women do. And there is a principle of reaping and sowing. If you sow it, you're going to reap it. There are consequences for immorality. And sadly, you can't pick which one of the consequences you end up having for doing something immoral. You can't pick it. And in the case of these women, it happens to be AIDS. So you don't say, God, okay, I'm about to violate your rule. I'm about to have sex with a married preacher. And let me see, can I just get a broken heart? Can I just get, what's the lesser of the STDs? Oh, can I just cry a couple of tears when he doesn't leave his wife for me? Oh, which part of the reaping process don't you get? You don't get to pick, ma'am and sir.
You're listening to the MalaniKai Show.